When you walk in the true divinity and authenticity of who you are, you not only change your life, but you change the lives of those around you. I just finished watching the first episode of the Jerrod Carmichael reality show Docu series. And then for context, I went and watched the stand-up comedy that he would wind up winning the Emmy for. And I can't lie, it was quite triggering. It took me back to when I was a kid. I was the only child of a single black mom, and awkward, had an old soul, didn't really fit in with my cousins, grandmama's boy, church boy. And just kind of just never, it was always awkward. And I felt often misunderstood. I felt like the only person that really loved me or really cared for me then was my grandmother. She would just allow me just to ramble on, just talk about every dream, every thought, all of those things. But my mother, I loved my mother, but my mother was very she believed in excellence, and I had to be, you had to work for perfection. That's what you had to do. Even though perfection is a fallacy, it's a whole, my mother wanted the best. And she expected the best. But then you come into this revelation about your sexuality, and you're trying to figure it all out. And then while you're figuring out, you're watching people starting to take notice and start figuring it out, and then they start changing, and people start talking, and you start hearing whispers and all of those things. And it begins to all chip away at your value and how you see yourself. I will say this, I realize it, the two things that I think is most broke me would be disappointing my grandmother and my mother, because for me, those were the two most important people in my life. So disappointing them hurt, and to be rejected by them. Now, my grandmother, I didn't feel rejected from. I just felt like she just was like, come here. My mother, on the other hand, I felt like she loved me with conditions. She loved me, but I had to be perfect. And I felt like that when she began to have an inkling of an idea, it was like I had a defect. It was like there was a defect in the product. There was a deficiency. And I worked overtime trying to prove that I'm a good person, that I wanted to be the person that they could rave about, they could talk about, they could be like, this is, and in the meantime, I'm trying to fight, praying and crying and take it away and having conversations like, God, okay, I'm good. Like, I don't have to wake up tomorrow, I promise you I'm good. Those kind of conversations. And eventually you just kind of get tired. And you just start setting boundaries. Not real big boundaries, because I know when we say boundaries, we think it big. But it started with the small things. Like, I love you, but we're not going to do this. You can't talk to me like that. And for those of us who come from old school, that it feels like when you say it, it feels like the ultimate disrespect. But the reality is that you are beginning to set the stage for what you want to do. And again, this doesn't happen overnight. But I began to do those things little by little. And I will tell you this, that my mother went from don't have those freaks you call friends, calling my house when I was in high school, to now that she's become the mother to the gays, and they love her. She loves them back. And so I say that when you walk and live in the true divinity of who you are, you not only change your life, but you change the lives of those around you. I think what this boy is doing is brave. So I don't know that I would be that open. Bringing you grinder dates on that. That's bold. But I think he doesn't know what to do, and sometimes we don't know. You do the boldest thing you have to do, and baby, he did it. And so, my prayer is that the relationship between him and his mother is fixed, because I promise you, there's nothing more magical than the relationship between a black gay boy and his black mama. There's nothing more magical than that. And then 2, my prayer is that y'all out there, y'all lighten up on the boy. I think it's important to give constructive criticism, but it takes a level of vulnerability that I think a whole lot of us don't even have. I don't even think I have it. And so, but again, this is starting a conversation that people are having. And it's through those conversations that healing will begin, and his healing will begin. And so, as we move forward, I'm going to keep watching. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But remember, when you walk in the true divinity and authenticity of who you are, you will change the lives of those around you. And then that will change the lives around them. Think about it. Be inspired. And get you some. See you next time.